And Times Now has accessed a PAC report on the Kargil for profit scam, which Times Now first broke in the year 2010. Let's go across to Srinjoy, who's got details of the report. Srinjoy, it only goes on to vindicate, of course, what Times Now said a few years ago when we broke the story.
Yes, absolutely right. This report really says what Times Now said several years ago. And the report makes it very clear that all those people that Times Now spoke about were actually responsible for this entire crime. And I'm calling it crime because this is exactly what the PAC says. The PAC is a responsible parliamentary body. It's headed by Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi. It has Ambika Soni. It has Ajay Makin. It has several other very senior leaders. And they make it very clear that this entire Kargil for-profit scam, as far as Adarsh is concerned, was really by senior politicians, senior armed forces officers, and senior bureaucrats, all of whom benefited very shamefully at the expense of soldiers who fought and died in Kargil, their widows and their children. And that is the worst part of it. Apart from that, the other important point that is made by Dr. Joshi in his report is the fact that the CBI has been looking at it and investigating it again and again and again for months. And so far, nothing serious has come out of it. That is the other crucial point that comes out of this 150-page report. Everything that comes out of here, as that Times Now has said, is actually in the report, in the fact that all the paperwork was fudged to a large extent. A large number of army officers, a large number of bureaucrats, a large number of politicians were responsible for it. And the point is underlined very clearly that this was at the expense of those who fought in Kargil, women and children of people who died there. That is the biggest issue here. And the PAC makes it very clear. They have said that yes, it is now very important that the CBI comes up with its report, underlines the fact that there are people who are responsible for it, and makes sure that those who are responsible for it are actually taken to task and proper punishment is given to them.
You know, Srinjoy, not just ask for a complete thorough investigation. Now it also pulls up the CBI for what it calls the tardy pace of the investigation. Look at the kind of language that is used in this PAC report. It goes on to say that the welfare of service personnel, ex-servicemen and their widows was used as a smokescreen to corner prime piece of land by senior service officers, senior civilian public servants, private individuals, most of whom were relatives of politicians and public servants. Only goes on to, of course, prove what we have been saying for years as far as the Adarsh scam or the Kargil for profit scam is concerned.
Yes, the word smokescreen has been used, and you are absolutely right, smokescreen. And that's exactly the word that has been used. And it says very clearly that those who are private individuals who have flats in Adarsh are actually close to politicians concerned. Besides, of course, there are references to Benami flats. That investigation is still going on. We do not know exactly who are the Benami flats actually for. The other point, of course, is very clear. The army also made serious errors because this was originally the Kukri Park. Now, all the land delineation, the proper documentation of who owns the land, who is in control of the land, all this the army did not do. Instead, the army and the armed forces there went ahead with it and did what they had to in collusion with senior bureaucrats and senior politicians. Right. And that is probably the most reprehensible part of this entire thing, that it was done in the name of widows of Kargil and
right.
children whose fathers died in Kargil.
Thanks for joining us with those details. Enjoy. We're trying to get more reactions to the story, and exclusive copy of that report is what Times Now